Oh, hi. It's a new year, and apparently Hangouts are a surprise. We have the whole gang with us tonight, and so everybody say hello. Starting east, at most, Savon.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah.
It's not so cold
Mark.
here in Montreal. I'm happy. After yesterday.
Martin?
Hey, not bad, not bad. I'm still alive, and yeah, we just got whiffed the winter for the last about 7 days. It's different from the plus 18 we were on the December 25th.
It was minus 18 here, so imagine the difference.
Oh, Ryan, how are things where you are?
Actually, we're getting back to almost a zero temperature again, so that's good. It's
I'm okay with
2016 go. It's 2016. It's CES. It's like the most wonderful time of the year right now, So.
For a lot of people, it is.
Mm.
Yes. How about you, Rob? How is the middle of Canada?
Warm. Warm considering it's Winnipeg, so we're doing pretty good here.
Winterpeg.
Yes. It could be about 10 degrees colder than usual, so I'm happy.
Yeah, and we have been warm as well in Alberta. We've only had a couple of cold snaps, and it's only like -8. It's like the winter that everybody said, oh, if it only stayed -10, I'd be happy. And that's not true. And we have snow. We're only happy with -10 after you've had a week of -30, and -10 feels
Yep.
warm.
Very true.
Okay, so let's get on. Like, there has been that much new happening in the last couple weeks,
Yeah, a few
but
things.
there is some new stuff. So we're going to start off with Crave TV. Martin.
Yeah, Crave TV had a planned expansion in early January to actually add a lot of extra channels and eventually get anybody to be able to subscribe to their services. Fortunately, that's been put on hold. For how long? They're saying mid-January to end of January, but they are saying that with little quotes beside them, so we'll see how that works out.
So are you guys looking forward to that? Like, how many of you are on Netflix?
Me.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been on Netflix for now 2 years. There's nothing on Netflix I want to watch.
Okay, but you're not on your cable cutting other ways.
I have no cable connections whatsoever.
Yeah, so I think we're on Netflix because we're too lazy to figure out cable cutting. We're old. And,
I've
I think
configured Cody.
yeah, no. I tried that. It was not a success. So I think Crave TV and Show Me are gonna, like, we tried Show Me for a little while and it was like, meh. I think they're
good
gonna have
also.
to get a lot of original programming to really be competitive.
They are good alternatives, and what the Show Me and Crave TV are going to be doing is, from what it looks like right now, is they're going to be bringing on board all the different networks, and that includes live streaming.
Well, that'll make a difference for sure.
And this is where they're probably going to gather a lot of their audience, because you can get live streaming for, let's say, AG Sports, but to get like the hockey games, soccer, football, and whatnot, which you can't get anywhere else unless you have an actual package that you subscribe to for either your digital box or your cable box.
Mm-hmm.
So that might actually entice a lot of people, and we'll see what happens in the meantime.
Yeah, that'll be something to watch for sure. So over Christmas, I think we all read lots of different articles about what the latest craze is.
One of the latest crazes was a trend that Mobile Suit reported on, which was phablets were the most sold devices on the Canadian market. Now, I'm not talking about anywhere else around the world, not the U.S., just the Canadian market. Phablets was the craze. Everybody went for the 5.5 to 6-inch type of display with the big displays.
And I can totally see that. As I was saying before the show, 2 people at work traded in their iPhone 5Cs, so they're little ones, and really their comment was, I want the biggest screen I can get for my $1, which is all phablet size. So I don't know what the deal is with that.
I don't blame them. I mean, who would want to use a tiny screen?
Well,
some people prefer
tiny.
small screens.
I just got a Bold for work, and it's the most tiniest screen out there. I want to throw it against a wall. There's no way you could do everything on this tiny little screen. I thought the 4S was small. Like,
I'm starting to think that my 5.2-inch display is small, and I'm eyeing a 6.5-inch display to carry around.
It's small.
See, and I
Taking up big pockets.
I think the S6 is a 5.2, and I like that size. But, you know, I always find these phones as they get bigger, I think, oh, I'll never like that. And then after a year or so, it's like, oh, well, okay. So we'll probably all be sporting these honking big phones soon enough.
Probably.
I don't know. I mean, I think I've kind of reached the 5.5-inch max. Is kind of where like the Huawei 6P at 5.9 was really edging out the biggest I could probably handle. Like that was. I think 5.5 would be the perfect size. 5.2s on the smaller side, but 6 I think would be too large. I don't know if I could go a daily at 6-inch.
I think it depends on what you use your device for.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
I mean,
Mine is 6, and you get used to it really fast.
Mm-hmm.
probably.
We got used to 5.5 pretty quickly. 5
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
Everything just all of a sudden, like, you just got used to it, and then it was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see how that goes. And the last thing that Martin's going to touch on quickly, our favorite app, Martin, has been acquired. What does this mean?
So the Snowball application that superposed itself over your notification shade that you had on your phone actually has been acquired by Credit Karma, and that application will be removed from the Play Store and folded into the Credit Karma application.
Which is what?
Credit Karma application is basically a credit-based application that provides your credit score for free.
I don't want that. I want Snowball.
No, Snowball is being folded in, and it's being acquired, and that's the end of it.
Didn't some other app recently get acquired by some sort of shady-ish kind of company, like advertising company?
Are we talking about QuickPick that got acquired by that Cheetah company?
Yeah. Cheetah Mobile, yeah.
Same deal. So
What
basically,
do credit cards have to do with my notification shade? I don't get it.
Yeah, me neither.
Advertisements.
Look at it this way: they're acquiring the company to actually get the technology and get rid of the staff. There you
So
go.
they want to be able to push ads right to your notifications.
That's pretty much how it sounds. And the people that were behind Snowball are taking new ventures. They're leaving.
Yes, but they probably will be prohibited from actually developing something similar for a
probably.
substantial amount of time.
So, and that's not the only company. There's other companies going that way as well. They're selling over their service and their software to actually fold everything into other application that will mean nothing to us at some point.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's the hallmark of a successful business, right? Is somebody wants to buy it and you walk away with money.
Let's put it this way: the guys are walking away with enough money that they never have to work again if they don't want to.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame because I really like Snowball.
Yep, it's disappearing. So once they're gone, and once you uninstall it, it's gone. That's it.
Oh, so it's not going to
Not continue. No, it's going to be removed.
it's not going to be taken off your device. It just won't be available.
They're not.
Anymore.
There's no certainty, but they might be a forced uninstall.
No updates.
So keep your current APK handy.
That's the only thing you can do is keep the APK if you want to keep it.
Yeah. Well, that's a shame because that is a really cool app.
It's unfortunate. I agree.
So, other big things happening. Oh, that down note. Other big things happening. OnePlus One X already being upgraded. Ryan.
Yeah, so I saw this one the other day, so I can't remember, Martin, if you remember exactly the spec on it, but basically it looked like, I know they were receiving a bit of flack because a lot of their OnePlus 2 and the OnePlus X, the micro USB, the USB-C type wasn't up to spec, so they were looking at potentially already upgrading that feature to bringing it back into line with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also hearing something else. I think it was a screen they were looking at updating because it was something with the pressure sensitivity was not up to snuff as well.
The screen display as well, yeah.
So I don't think it's like a whole revisit. I think it's just sort of a bug fix version or whatever. So what they're going to do for the current people, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. What I did find was kind of interesting is that in almost the same breath, we started hearing about how OnePlus is now launching a parts store, which I thought was kind of weird that normally OEMs don't sell their own parts to the general public. And the biggest thing I had with it is the fact that, I mean, the fact that you have these parts kind of tells me, well, what happened to all that BS about we have a very limited run of these phones, but we have a glut of these parts we could sell to you. Like, you don't sell to the public unless you have a lot of them. And then it also speaks to the fact that, is there a high demand that you're doing this enough? And what does that say about the product? So here's your OnePlus 2.
Ryan, they're just trying to do something nice. Come on.
I get that. It's just one of those things. Here's your OnePlus 2. Do you need some spare ribbon cable in case the display adapter fails on you or something? We have
I think it's a signal of how easy they are to work on yourself. Come on.
Well, because we know the customer service is not exactly the best. If you want to complain about yellowing screen on the OnePlus One, well, here's a spare phone screen you can buy. Anyways, yeah, Martin, you had a comment on that.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been reading on that as well, and from the looks of it, it's basically for people that actually want to repair the devices. That's really what the store is aimed at.
Well, and I get that. I really do. I mean, I worked in that industry for about 6 months there last year, right? So finding parts can be tricky. You know, a lot of times you end up getting it from some shady Chinese company that's making a knockoff product, and it's so to get the OEM part is nice, and to have that availability, it's just one of those things. Usually, it's not passed on to the front end consumer. But I guess you're right. It does speak to the fact that OnePlus One was made for, you know, it's not made by the folks like CyanogenBot who want to have people who want to fix their own things, software or hardware, right?
It was made for Tom, Dick, and Harry.
I don't know about that. Not the average Joe, but not for every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
A phone made for the tinkerer is what it sounds like.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, so that's that feature there. I'm going to say we're going to jump over to CES right now, just because we're going to talk about a lot of things being launched right now. But Siobhan had a new news about Oppo, so let her just talk about that one before we get into CES.
Yeah, Oppo in the last 2 days teasing with a new F phone series. They're going to launch the F1 phone, which is a mid-range phone. But for now, we have only rumors. We still don't know anything about the phone. There's some rumors that it's actually the international version of the Oppo A53. But it's just a rumor. If it's true, it has a 5.5-inch screen, only 720p display, Snapdragon 616, only 2 GB of RAM. So not a real mid-range phone. But the nice thing about this phone is that it's going to have a full-featured camera, high-end camera apparently, 13 megapixel for the back. 5 megapixel for the front with the great Oppo camera app. So the price should be around $300. So that will be a really affordable option, which is popular in some countries in the world where people can't afford the high-end phones, but they will still be able to experience the good Oppo camera. So that's interesting. They're going to have fan meetups in Europe this month, and that's where people will be able to see the phone. So I guess we'll learn more about it later in the month, and when we know more, we'll report about it.
Excellent, Martin.
I mean, I'm hoping they'll fix that fisheye problem.
The fisheye problem, I wouldn't call it a problem, but I only encountered it in the R7 Plus. The Find 7 has an amazing camera. The N3 has a really amazing camera. So it's only the R7 Plus. I didn't try the other ones. So I wouldn't call it a problem, and definitely not an Oppo problem. What's interesting about those phones is that they can be bought online, no contract. Free shipping, very easy to buy. So for Canadians that don't want to be on contract, it's a great option.
Yep, and you know, a lot of people, like I'm one of them. I want a good phone. Not sure. Not as that is my priority. I want a good camera.
I kind of don't blame you on that.
Photo experience. So.
But especially for younger people, the
Sure.
parents don't want to spend too much money, but they still want to take the great selfies, the Instagram photos. So this is a great option for teenagers, I would say.
For sure. Okay, so Ryan, you want to talk about CES now?
So I don't know about you guys, but I've been trying to glue myself to the CES news and trying to see what's out there. I'm a little behind. I'm still about 1,000 articles deep left to go for the day, I think. But I mean, it's a lot of really cool things. I know Martin's been doing a really good job of, day one recap, day two recaps. We saw some of the neat things out there, and I just thought maybe we'd go around and sort of see what have you seen at CES so far that you guys thought was really cool. I just saw the new Fitbit Blaze. Did you guys see this?
Oh yeah.
It looks like a watch.
A smartwatch, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like we were just talking just before this, and now Rob's getting into the whole Fitbit craze now, and everybody's kind of getting into the fitness craze because it is resolution time, right? So, and it was like kind of neat, and then to see this as a $200 watch, that sounds pretty cool.
I'm happy that the watch market is not dying and it keeps growing.
Yeah.
It's like people really predicting it was going to die, right? Oh, the Apple Watch didn't sell well, therefore it's all going to die.
I thought the Apple Watch sold just fine.
Yeah, well, it didn't sell as well as it should have or could have, right?
Oh,
bajillions.
It started $500.
Yeah, so, but it's funny because
slightly overpriced for what it can do, just slightly.
A wee smidge. But yeah, anyway, so I mean, I thought that was a kind of a cool thing. Anything else? What's stand out for you guys? Let's start out. Catherine, what have you seen so far at CES that you kind of? I know you just did an article on the HTC and Under Armour grip thing, they call it.
I've been looking at all the different fitness. Like, I'm really happy at how Android Wear is really exploding. Hopefully, there will be an update that goes with, that brings sound and everything to Android Wear. But it's nice that it's so popular that they are getting a lot of, like, Fossil is in there now, and Tag, of course, and I've forgotten. Savon, can you say the second part?
Layer.
Yeah, their watch is finally out. And there's been some ruggedized watches and things like that are Android Wear, so I find really interesting.
And the female version for the Huawei watch, did you see that one?
The Jewel and the Elegant.
Pretty nice looking.
That's
What was
pretty
it?
Yeah, and of course, right after I buy my S2 Classic, they bring out the rose gold and platinum version, so oh well. Ryan, you have a comment. Or sorry, Martin, what is your
My favorite so far, it's the Asus Z Phone Zoom. I mean, 3x optical zoom on the camera is not bad, but 4 GB of RAM, 64 or 128 GB of storage, micro SD, 3,000 milliamp battery, 5.5-inch display, and it's going on Quad HD, Gorilla Glass 4, $400. Come on.
That's good.
That's a pretty great thing. What about you, Rob? You haven't said much. You've sat in the shadows.
I like
Yeah, I've
Asus.
been pretty quiet this month. I like the there was a LG, I think it was, released a screen that was completely foldable.
The 18-inch one, yeah.
Oh yes.
Had 18 inches too. That was pretty.
So any of those folding screens and getting more and more being able to bend them is pretty cool, because I know that can lead to a lot more stuff than just like the S curve with the edges or anything. And not really Android related, but I got one of these guys, which I'm still proud about getting for Christmas from this hero. And I saw that at CES they have like a wristband. You control it with the force. So you can go like this, and you go this way to make it come to you, and this way to go away, and you can direct it and stuff. So that'd be a fun addition.
As long as it works, my son got one as a battleship destroyer that you're supposed to have a little hand-hold thing, and as you turn it around and do different things with it, it's supposed to move it. It doesn't work at all as well as it should. Although if you hit the button, it fires, so that's the one thing that's cool.
That's the main thing. What about you, Ryan? What are you looking for?
My thing, I like, again, like I said, it's, the watch thing. It seems to be sort of everywhere. The fitness trackers. I find it interesting looking at all these different sites I'm reading and following up, and like I can tell that they're hitting different spots around and as they're going through. But yeah, so I mean, there are a lot of cool little things that are going on. Nothing really stands out. LG and Harman Kardon, their new Google Cast speakers and home theater sets. LG just announced, again, not Android related, but how they're going to help with the expansion of Netflix into the emerging markets, and they're coming up with a new broadcasting standard. So yeah, it's a lot of neat little things. But I think I really like that idea of, like, it's really this Android Wear or this wearable Internet of Things is just continuing on and marching forward, that it's just going to be, yeah, well, you know what? Your fridge is going to be connected to your washer and disher, which is going to be connected to, like, what was the wash? Who did the washer and dryer that had the Amazon Dash built into it? I thought, again, just stuff 2 years ago we would have laughed at. Now it's like, well, okay, that's a pretty cool feature.
While laughing. What about you, Siobhan? Did you?
Can I go back to the Zenfone that you were talking
Sure.
about? That's the Zoom, Martin?
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at the specs now, and it does look amazing, especially that I think it's the first smartphone that I can see that you can actually change the aperture.
Yes.
And that's amazing.
There you go.
I want that.
It should be quite interesting,
Aha.
especially for the $400 price point. Well,
Yeah.
obviously it's US, but even Canadian, even the price point is below 500. So it could actually be very interesting for a lot of people. This is one of those on the lower end of the high end, but above the mid-range to the high end. You know what I mean?
It's
It's at that point where it's at
solid,
that just nice level where people could just be like, oh my god, it's not that much. I can just buy it. I'm like, yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, it's great.
Kind of sounds like the Moto X Play for the price point.
Yeah.
You get a lot for that money.
Asus did very well with that one.
They've really come along though with their devices, and
Especially in the mobile field, they've come a long way. I mean, most of everything I have in the PC box that's sitting beside me is Asus product, just because the computer equipment is just awesome.
I have the Zen watch.
I almost got it, but it doesn't have a heart rate monitor.
And we still have the tablet, the Transformer Prime from CES 2011.
Well, it sounds like we're all looking forward to things. So it'll be interesting to see what actually comes to Canada. Like a lot of these things have been announced for the U.S., but, not in Canada yet, and no price point. With our dollar flailing ever lower, things could get
Indeed,
they've
been very quiet about what will be coming and what will not be coming. Even a couple of questions I sent, they're like, being released with the U.S., but we don't know about any other markets. I'm like, okay.
Well, it is CES, and CES is in the U.S., so that's where they're going to have their main focus.
It's like the CES is like now the new World's Trade thing, right? Remember the Trade Expo, World Expo, and it was like, this is the cars of tomorrow, potentially 10 years down the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be easier to get more information out of the OEMs over at MWC that's coming up shortly.
Yeah. That's going to be my first year of retirement. Will be CES, Mobile World Congress, Formula One, and then
do the trek.
Yeah, I'll do a world tour based on weird stuff. Anyways, I think that's about it. We started a little late, but we have covered our topics, and now we can talk about upcoming reviews. Rob mentioned he got his Spiro. He made it sound like so much fun that I had looked and saw that there was one available, and then I saw the price and went, so, Rob, nobody gave me one for Christmas, so I'm afraid that you'll have to be my surrogate Bureau controller.
Will do. Yeah, I was pretty spoiled with that one. I was quite shocked when I opened that, and I was like, "Holy cow, you guys got this for me!" So.
Well, we got an ice cream maker. It's about the same price.
Which would I rather have?
I know. Ice cream makers, EDA. And we have some upcoming reviews. What do we got? A Blue remote accessory. Who has that?
I got that one. So this is, the idea being here is that you can plug this in somewhere, and it's got a bunch of little infrared ports that are on there. So you basically get an app for your phone that it's going to be a universal remote for your phone, like the Logitech Harmony remote. And this can then control everything in that room. It also has an opportunity for you to plug it into your amp for audio, and it comes with a cable for you to plug it into your audio, so you can stream anything you have over the Bluetooth into your amp or whatever it is. So it'd be sort of a one-stop home theater remote control system. So I'm going to give it a try this weekend and see what I think about that. So if you have any questions on how that works, by all means, let me know. I've also got the StreamBot Y, that MPOW FM transmitter, which is in my car right now, and I love the crap out of that thing. It's because I have an old car that doesn't have Bluetooth or anything in that as well, so I need to. If I want to, and my CD, I've got a CD stuck in the CD player, so I can't get it out. And it's an old car, so I'm not bothering to fix it or anything right now. So if I want to listen to music, it's either CBC radio, or because I don't like the rock stations in town, CBC radio, or it's my phone, which I couldn't do before. Now I can do, and it's really cool, and I'll show you guys reviews on that later. And last but not least, I just got the iRig acoustic, so I've had to break out my acoustic guitar and break out my pick fingers, my strumming fingers again, build those calluses. To see how that works, I can start recording. Let you guys hear how well I can play Dueling Banjos theme on my guitar. That's as about as.
Ooh. That StreamBot is interesting. I remember back in the day trying to find a good FM transmitter, and they all kind of sucked.
Yeah,
so
that hasn't changed.
Oh.
That hasn't really changed. There's definitely a difference in quality when I go in my wife's car and I stream over Bluetooth straight to the car versus using this FM transmitter. There's definitely a quality difference, which you're not going to get on because you're transmitting on FM. FCC requirements, or CRTC requirements on FM transmitters are like under half a watt or a couple more watts or whatever.
Yeah, they did make a big change. I think in the
There's
U.S.
always
too.
interference.
Yeah. It's funny because I'll drive around town, I'll be listening to CBC radio, and in Thunder Bay, CBC radio is on the bottom of the dial, which is where normally people's FM transmitters are automatically sitting. So I'll be driving around, and some guy's crappy country station, Sirius, is going to overpower my car radio, right? Which I'm like, what the heck? And he's like over there. Whereas any of the FM transmitters I would put on the dash right next to the antenna, and I would get an okay I get an okay signal. So it's one of those.
He must actually have an old Sirius radio, because the new ones. Also, we had one that was phenomenal. You could have it on in the car on the driveway. Well, okay, it was phenomenal for us, and you could listen to the radio in the house, no problem. And then we got a new one, and it's a really low distance, and really you have to plug it in. If you have to use that audio auxiliary if you want a good signal. Yeah.
So, but I mean, for me at least, I've still got probably another 2 years before I'll be looking at replacing this vehicle. So I'm gonna kind of sit there, and if I want to listen to music on this thing, I do what I can. And this is the way this one's set up. I really like this one. So you'll see when I do the review on it. So.
Okay. Well, I think that's it. So everyone can.
The last thing I wanted to talk about, we didn't mention. I did put it in the list, but didn't get to, Cass. So I'm gonna call you out on this. I put a little thing. Let's just talk about quickly, because I haven't done my annual article. I haven't done my annual article of my predictions for 2016, and I'm going to kind of cheat this year because I'm going to do it after CES, just because I haven't had time to write it beforehand. What are your guys' thoughts? Just in a quick 1-minute summary, what do you think is going to happen in 2016 for Android? What is your thoughts?
BlackBerry will receive a second. We'll give out a second phone. and then it's going to flop, and then BlackBerry disappear.
You think so? Because that Priv, I've had so many people talk about this Priv.
Yeah.
It was nice. I liked it too, but the price scares away so many people outside of the business network.
True.
But I heard they're supposed to release another one. It's supposed to be more a mid-range phone to
More
be
price
affordable.
friendly.
Yeah,
As
like
long
I
as
think the
they release
keyboard
it
will be
with
on it, but
Android.
no slider.
If they release it with Q10 or BlackBerry 10, and they slide back, I think that's going to be the killer for them, right? If they can release another decently built phone, even though it's going to be mid-range, I think it's going to. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, the next mid-range is supposed to be Android. That's what I saw for rumors lately.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So what do you think, Martin?
He's not talking.
You're on mute.
Hit the button.
Still on mute.
God damn it.
There you
Should be
go.
working fine.
Not on mute now.
That before it worked.
The Priv was mostly for people that are business-minded, business-geared. It was not made for the home consumer. They didn't want to sell it to home consumer. They actually wanted to restrict it when before first time it came out. So Rogers would not have been able to sell it to a home user that was not on a commercial plan.
Wow.
Yeah, or similar to that for all the carriers in Canada. It wasn't limited just to Rogers.
Wow.
Now, BlackBerry is going to be coming up with a mid-range device that mid-range consumers will be able to get. So we're going to be looking in the range of something similar to what you can get with the Asus, the Moto X, similar to that.
Oh,
that's good.
Interesting. So, since you're talking, what do you think is coming up in 2016?
I make no predictions.
Okay.
It's the fun part of making predictions.
That's why I'm not making any predictions.
All right, Sivan, what is your predictions for 2016?
I think that we'll hear more about better cameras, innovation regarding the cell phone cameras.
Mm-hmm. I think the 1.4 micron pixel is an entirely move in that direction. We've seen it in the Nexus. And again, we usually tend to see the Nexus push, I don't know if they push the envelope or spearhead that, but take something that was really cool and try to make it popular again. Like, because the fingerprint Nexus imprint was on other devices before, but interesting. And Cass, what do you think you're going to see in 2016 for Android?
Well, I think it'll be, well, the camera thing. Like even Samsung on the next S7 is rumored to be only going with a 12 megapixel camera. So I think that everybody's going to be going with that larger sensor, get better low light and stuff like that. Other than that, I think that Android and fitness will really take off, whether it's through Android Wear or through all these bands that have been coming out at CES. They pretty well all work with Android devices.
Do you think Google Fit is going to become more prevalent, or do you think you're going to see the Lose It, Noom, Fitbit?
I think that it will just be that people will be using their Android devices or tracking their fitness because it will be better than on the wrist for a lot of people.
Okay, interesting. Because again, I'm sitting there going, I love to use Google Fit, but sometimes I need to use Endomondo, and then parents are like, oh, use Lose It or use Noom or use. I'd rather have one app that controls all of it.
I would too, but I don't see Google going that way because they could have done so many easy things. Like one super easy thing they could have done was go work better with MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is used by everybody or by a large range of people, and they weren't interested. So.
Okay, interesting. And to go to my prediction of what I'm thinking about the next, 2016 is going to be my big thing, and I've got a few other things I'm going to talk about, but eventually in this article. But I think my prediction for 2016 in Android is we saw it already in the Pixel C, and I think that's going to be the big clue to what we're going to be seeing in 2016. Is that I use the word again, convergence. We've kind of talked about this in the past as well. So again, it'll be interesting to see what 2016 comes out between the Pixel C and Alphabet. I think is going to play a big, interesting role this next year. not so much for Android specifically, but I think you're gonna start seeing some cool projects come out of that, obviously. So, anyways, yeah, that is time. So sorry, I just wanted to get our little thoughts about 2016 out there, since we did miss 2 weeks. So there's an hour we didn't talk already. So.
Yes, but that doesn't mean we have to use it up all at once. So now we can say goodnight.
Alrighty. Good night, everybody. Thanks for indulging me in my last final minute comments.
I wish you warm days.
Take care, guys. Have a good night.
Guys.
All right.